So, in our previous lecture, we have discussed about oral hypoglycemic agent, particularly sulfonylurea, biguanide, and the next class. Now, these types of oral hypoglycemic agents they are given to the patient in particularly type 2 diabetic patient, and when the oral hypoglycemic agents are unable to reduce the elevated sugar level. At that time, insulin is suggested for such type 2 diabetic patient. So, in this presentation, we are going to discuss about some other classes of the drug like DPP-4 inhibitors, then incretins, mimetics, and then SGLT2 inhibitors, and then uh, next is alpha glucosidase inhibitors. So one by one we will go with this class. So first we will discuss about DPP-4 inhibitors. Now what is DPP-4 inhibitors? DPP-4 is the newer class of oral hypoglycemic agents, and these agents are mostly prescribed to the diabetic patient, type 2 diabetic patients who are resistant to metformin and sulfonylurea. Now these DPP-4 inhibitors, they are also called as the gliptins. The examples are sitagliptins is one of the example. So they are also count as a gliptins. So what is this DPP-4 or DPP? DPP is nothing but the dipeptidyl peptidase 4, and it is a serine protease. It is widely distributed throughout the body, and they get stimulated, or this enzyme converts the GLP-1 or incretin 1. So what is that we will discuss here. Whenever you take any type of the food containing the glucose or containing the carbohydrate, that food will enter into your stomach, and then it enters in the stomach, it gets digested and then enter into the small intestine. Now in the small intestine, what happened, there is a one hormone which is called as the incretin. So this incretin hormone, this is a glucose insulin stimulating hormone which maintaining the level of your glucose level into the blood. So what happened in the small intestine, this with the uh, with response to the glucose in the body or carbohydrate in the body, these incretins, this is the hormone, this get stimulated. Now this incretin, it is a two types, that is GLP 1. We will discuss later on what is that incretin in incretin mimetics drugs. So what happened, this incretins, it is also called as GLP-1, it gets stimulated. Once it is stimulated, it has a short half life, so it can break down into the intestine by means of the enzyme dipeptidyl peptidase 4. So these enzyme converts these incretin peptides into inactive peptides. So once it is converted into inactive peptide, that means its activity is lost. So once it is stimulated, this incretin, it has two very important activity. First is that in pancreas, you know, there is a beta cell and a alpha cell. So stimulation of beta cell releases the insulin. So what happen, when incretins are stimulated, it will stimulates the beta cell. As a result, there is an increase in the glucose level. This glucose enter into the blood, and they uh, reduces the glucose level into the blood. That means they produces hypoglycemia. Therefore they reduces the plasma glucose level. This is one mechanism of action of this incretin. So in what incretin will do or GLP-1 will do, they stimulate the beta receptor and increases the insulin level, thereby they decreases the plasma glucose level. Now apart from that, this incretin has another action, that this incretin also inhibits the alpha cell. these alpha cells always stimulated the glucagon, and glucagon, what is the function of glucagon? It increases the sugar level. So incretin inhibits the glucagon, thereby it will not increases the sugar level. Instead of that, again plasma glucose level is going to be decreases. So what happen? Glucagon level is decreases, or glucagon stimulation is decreases, and it also inhibits the glucagon action into the liver, and as a result plasma glucose level is decreases. This is what the overall action of incretin. But what happened, because of this enzyme dipeptidyl peptidase 4, this incretin will not be available for longer time. So this incretin will convert it into inactive peptide. So it will not stimulate this process. So what happened? We are using the DPP4 inhibitors. Means these are the drugs which inhibits the action of DPP4, and once it is inhibited, that means incretin will not be converted into inactive peptides. That means it is available for longer time, and it will produces the more stimulation of the beta cell and more insulin get releases. So what happened? This is a DPP4 inhibitors drug which inhibits the DPP4 enzyme, and thereby it prevents the inactivation of the peptides. So this is what overall mechanism of action of all DPP4 inhibitors. Now, there are certain actions on different parts of the body of this DPP4 inhibitors drugs. What are these actions? So they have the action on the lipids. They increases the HDL level and decreases the cholesterol and triglyceride level. That's why these types of drugs are also given to the diabetic patient who are obese. Why obese? Because of the increase in the cholesterol level. So these drug decreases the cholesterol level, thereby they are helpful in decreasing the lipid level or obesity in the person, and also increases the good HDL level. Another is that this drug increases the nitric oxide activity. You know, nitric oxide is a vasodilator. In case of angina, nitric oxide plays an important role. So this drug increases nitric oxide activity, increases vasodilation, and decreases the atherosclerosis. That means if a person having the diabetes, so there is a chances that that person undergo the problem of heart attack or cardiovascular disorders. So in this case, if you use DPP4 inhibitors, so these drugs will helpful in reducing the cardiovascular complications in diabetic patient. Then in case of inflammation, it decreases the CD4, TNF alpha, interleukins, and decreases the monocyte addition. So it will also helpful in reducing the inflammation like myocardial infarction and all. Then in case of bone marrow, this drug increases the ischemic response to the bone marrow. And lastly, they increases all responses of the blood pressure and increases the natriuresis. So overall, if you observe all these action, that will leads to a common action, that is they increases the GLP-1 level, that is they increases the incretin level. And you know, once incretin level is increases, they will stimulate the beta cell, and they will increases the decreases the glucose level. So this increases the GLP-1, and they also decreases the HbA1c1. What is HbA1c1? It is glycated hemoglobin. पहले क्या होता था कि ग्लूकोज लेवल चेक करने के बाद पता चलता था कि डायबिटीज है, पर अभी क्या करते हैं, ये HbA1c चेक करते हैं. HbA1c आपको क्या बताता है, इसका एडवांटेजेस क्या है? लास्ट 3 महीने में पेशेंट के बॉडी के अंदर एवरेज ग्लूकोज कितना था, वो हमको HbA1c बताता है. HbA1c 5 to 6 ऐसा होता है परसेंट. अगर इसका लेवल ज्यादा हो जाता है तो इट इंडिकेट दैट द पेशेंट इज मोर प्रोन टू सच टाइप्स ऑफ द डिसऑर्डर्स. So here these inhibitors, DPP4 inhibitors, they increases the GLP-1 level and decreases the HbA1c level. So if you use such types of drug for chronic treatment, then they will helpful in reducing or in correcting the secondary complication. What are the secondary complication? Neuropathy. न्यूरोपैथी मीन्स नर्व सेंसेशन. हम देखते हैं कि बहुत सारे डायबिटिक पेशेंट में नर्व सेंसेशन कम हो जाता है, पर क्यों कम होता है? क्योंकि नर्व फाइबर लॉस होता है, कंडक्शन वेलोसिटी कम हो जाती है. बट दिस ड्रग they will decreases the nerve fiber loss and increases the conduction velocity as well as strength and sensitivity of the nerve fiber. Then nephropathy, they decreases the inflammation and tubular damage of the kidney. They increases the glomerular filtration rates. That's why they are again useful. Then third is foot ulcer. Now in diabetic patient, foot ulcer is the most common problem. So here they will this drug decreases the inflammation, increases the epithelialization, granulation, and vascular endothelial growth factors. Then they're having the effect on retinopathy, means on your eye. What they will do, they decreases the inflammation which are produced in the eye. Then apoptosis, they increases the blood flow to the eye and increases the vasodilation. So overall, this is what the activity of DPP4 drugs or DPP4 inhibitors drugs, and they are useful in treatment of diabetes. Along with that, they are also useful in the secondary complication associated with the long-term hyperglycemia. Then these are the some drugs like sitagliptin, vildagliptin. These are the drugs that is DPP4 inhibitor. This is a very popular drug, sitagliptins. So these drugs having the adverse effect like upper respiratory tract infection, nasopharyngitis, and headaches. But precaution while using this drug, in if patient having acute pancreatitis, means inflammation is there, तो ऐसे पेशेंट में आप ये ड्रग नहीं दे सकते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर कोई अल्कोहलिक है तो उसका पैनक्रियाज डैमेज होने के चांसेस होते हैं, तो ऐसे पेशेंट में आप नहीं दे सकते. एक्यूट रीनल फेल्यूर का पेशेंट है उसमें भी हम ये ड्रग नहीं दे सकते. जो हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया का रिस्क पेशेंट है उसमें भी हम ये नहीं दे सकते. देन व्हाट इज द डोजेस? 100 mg once daily. So one tablet in a day you can give, can be taken with or without food, no problem, and maximum dose is 100 mg daily. तो 100 mg के ऊपर आप उसका डोज नहीं दे सकते. सेकंड ड्रग इज देयर, vildagliptin. Now this vildagliptin is also given in along with the double combination or triple combination, means you can add two more drug from different classes and make a combination and give this drug. What is the adverse reaction? Dizziness, headache, constipation, and peripheral edema are the adverse effect of this drug. And the dose is given, if you combine this drug with metformin or thiazolidinedione, तो 50 mg और 100 mg डेली. अगर आप इंसुलिन के साथ कंबाइन कर रहे हैं तो 50 mg और 100 mg डेली आप उसको दे सकते हैं. और अगर अलोन ड्रग देना है तो यू कैन गो विद द 100 mg in two different doses. Then sacagliptin is another drug and alogliptin is another drug. So sacagliptin, it having 2.5 to 5 milligram once daily is a dose. Then precaution is given, acute pancreatitis, hypoglycemia, in that condition you cannot give. This produces the adverse reaction like upper respiratory infection, urinary tract infection, then headache, then peripheral edema. Then this is a newer drug that is alogliptin. Its dose is 25 mg once daily, and the precaution is similar to the above, and it produces the nasopharyngitis, headache, and upper respiratory tract infection. Now, then this last drug, that is only 5 drugs are there under the gliptin class, that is linagliptin. The dose is 5 milligram once daily, but these drugs are the strong inducer of cytochrome P450. You know, the enzyme inhibition and enzyme inducer in case of drug interaction. So these drug induces are cytochrome P450 level. Now precaution, again same precautions are there most of the, and adverse effect, that is nasopharyngitis, diarrhea, and cough. So out of these 5 drugs, the sitagliptin and vidagliptins are the most popular and most prescribed drug in case of type 2 diabetic patient. Now another class of the drug, that is GLP-1 based agents. They are also called as the incretin mimetics. Mimetics का मतलब क्या होता है? ऐसे ड्रग जो इंक्रेटिन जैसी एक्टिविटी करते हैं उसको बोलते हैं हम मिमेटिक्स ड्रग्स. So these are the drugs which produces the action similar to the incretin incretin क्या है? We have studied incretin is the hormone, and there are two types of incretin, like glucagon like peptide, which is called as the GLP-1. So what is incretin? Incretin is the hormone. These are produced by GIT. When they are produced in response to incoming nutrition, जब भी हम खाना खाते हैं तब ये incretin release होता है, and have important action that contribute to glucose homeostasis. So body के अंदर ग्लूकोज का लेवल मेंटेन करने के लिए ये इंक्रेटिन बहुत काम का हार्मोन है, और जब भी हम मीठा खाते हैं, जब भी हम स्वीट खाते हैं, at that time this incretin is going to release. So two hormones are suggested. First is the gastric inhibitory polypeptide, that is called as the GIP, and another is the glucagon like peptide 1, that is the GLP-1. So these are certain characteristics of these both the things, like gastric inhibitory polypeptides and glucagon like peptides. So those who are more interested, they can read about these two hormones, which are very much important in case of the diabetes. So only the differential part is that gastric inhibitory polypeptide, they are 42 amino acid polypeptide, but here glucagon like peptide, they are 30 amino acid polypeptides. I repeatedly said that those who are interested in the GPAT examination or any type of the competitive examination, they should remember such types of differences. That is, gastric inhibitory polypeptide, they are 42 amino acid, whereas glucagon like peptide, they are 30 amino acids. Okay, and more differences are there. If you read more and more book, you will get more and more differences about these two hormones. Then they are secreted from the K cell, whereas these are secreted from the L cell under the intestine. So these are what the differences between GIP-1 and GIP and the glucagon like peptides. Now, what are the drugs? In case of GLP-1 based agent like incretin mimetics, one drug is there, that is exenatide. Now, this drug exenatide, this is a chemical which are obtained in the lizard saliva called exenatine 4. So first time it was discovered that this is the chemical which is from the lizard saliva, and this acts like the incretin. जैसे हमने पहले DPP-4 में देखा था कि खाना खाने के बाद जो स्वीट हम खाते हैं उसके बाद इंटेस्टाइन से इंक्रेटिन रिलीज होता है, और वो इंक्रेटिन क्या करता है, GLP को स्टिमुलेट करता है, GLP-1 को, और वो GLP क्या करता है, फिर इंसुलिन का लेवल बढ़ा के ग्लूकोज का लेवल कम करता है. तो हियर these incretin mimetic, these are the drug, they just work like a incretin. So they act in similar way to the human hormone glucagon like peptide 1, that is GLP-1. Now these drugs are injected subcutaneously within 60 minutes prior to morning and every meal, or before the two main meal of the day, approximately 6 hours or more apart. So ये ड्रग subcutaneously इंजेक्ट किया जाता है और 60 minutes prior to morning and evening meal. Initiate at 5 microgram per dose twice daily, increases to 10 microgram twice daily after a month based on clinical response. So जो भी पेशेंट को आपको ये GLP बेस्ड एजेंट देने का है, तो फर्स्ट यू स्टार्ट विथ 5 माइक्रोग्राम एंड चेक द पेशेंट कंडीशन फॉर 1 week, and then you increase the dose if the patient condition after 1 month is found to be good. So this is what the GLP-1 agent. So under that one drug is there, liraglutide. This liraglutide, it is a human GLP-1 analogs. So this drug, it slows absorption from the subcutaneous tissue, as we observed that it is given by subcutaneous route of administration. अब ये ड्रग है, ये रेजिस्टेंस टू DPP-4 एंजाइम है. हमने पहले देखा था कि GLP जो है वो क्या होता है, नेचुरल GLP जो बॉडी में जाता है, रिलीज होता है, वो क्या होता है, DPP-4 से इनएक्टिव हो जाता है. पर ये ड्रग क्या है, ये ड्रग सिमिलर टू इंक्रीटिन है, GLP है, बट दे आर नॉट इनएक्टिवेटेड बाय द दिस DPP-4 एंजाइम. इसी कारण क्या होता है, इनका प्लाज्मा हाफ लाइफ जो है 13 आवर्स है, यानी वंस डोज इन अ डे. Then pancreatitis, serious hypoglycemia, thyroid, C-cell tumor in animal, there is a chances you cannot give this type the drug in such types of condition. Then what are the adverse effects associated with this liraglutide? Headache, nausea, diarrhea, liraglutide antibody formation, then vomiting, upper respiratory tract infection, urinary tract infection, dizziness, sinusitis, and nasopharyngitis. So these are the side effects associated with this drug. Now here you have to remember that both the drugs, that this exenatide and this liraglutide, both are the incretin mimetic drugs. But what is the difference? This drug, this is a human GLP analog drug. You should remember this is what difference between the previous drugs. Now another class of drug is there, that is sodium SGLT2 inhibitor. This is very interesting part, that is sodium glucose co-transporter. It is called as the SGLT2 inhibitor. Now how this type of the drugs are produce their action and how they are important in case of the diabetes. So this type of drug, they are not acting on the beta cell of the pancreas. They are having some another action, and by this way they help in reducing the blood glucose level. Now you know this is what the nephron. This is the structure of nephron. It containing, this is glomeruli, this is proximal convoluted tubule, this is the distal convoluted tubule. So this HGL2, that is sodium glucose co-transporter, it is a transporter which is present on the brush border of proximal convoluted tubule. So how it will look, you can observe. This is what the part of proximal convoluted tubule, where when we take the glucose will filtered from the blood, from the glomeruli, and from this the glucose gets filtered, and this glucose will enter into the tubule. What happen when glucose is enter into the tubule? There is a presence of the this SGLT2, that is sodium glucose transporter. It is a transporter system. तो ये SGLT2 क्या करता है, जितना ग्लूकोज फिल्टर हुआ है उसका रीएब्सॉर्प्शन करता है ब्लड में. तो इसके कारण क्या होगा कि ब्लड में जो ग्लूकोज है वो ग्लूकोज लेवल हमेशा ज्यादा ही रहेगा. तो जितना भी ग्लूकोज हमारे ग्लोमेरुलाई से फिल्टर होगा, ऑल दिस ग्लूकोज गेट रीएब्सॉर्ब इनटू द ब्लड. तो इसका मतलब क्या होगा, यूरिन में ग्लूकोज जाएगा क्या? नहीं जाएगा. नो ग्लूकोज लॉस इन द यूरिन. इसीलिए अगर नॉर्मल पेशेंट कोई है और नॉर्मल पेशेंट का यूरिन में ग्लूकोज चेक करते हैं, तो देयर इज अ मिनिमम और निग्लिजिबल ग्लूकोज यू कैन ऑब्जर्व इन द यूरिन ऑफ नॉर्मल पेशेंट. ठीक है, नॉर्मल पर्सन. सपोज अ पेशेंट हैविंग द डायबिटीज, तो ऐसे पेशेंट में क्या करना चाहिए? अब you observed here in second case the same thing is there. Here glucose is entered, glucose get filtered. Okay, now here what happened, we use the drug SGLT2 inhibitor. तो ये ड्रग क्या करेगा? when we give SGLT2 inhibitor, what they will do, they will block दिस HGLT2 ट्रांसपोर्टर. अब ये ब्लॉक होने के कारण क्या होगा, ये प्रॉक्सिमल कन्वोल्यूटेड ट्यूबुल में जो ग्लूकोज है वो ग्लूकोज ब्लड में नहीं जाएगा. इसका मतलब ब्लड में शुगर लेवल कम हो जाएगा और ये जो भी ग्लूकोज है वो क्या होगा, यूरिन से बाहर आ जाएगा. सो ग्लूकोज लॉस इन द यूरिन, देयर इज अ लॉस ऑफ ग्लूकोज इन द यूरिन. दिस इज व्हाट द मैकेनिज्म ऑफ एक्शन ऑफ all SGLT2 inhibitors. What they will do, they will inhibit the sodium glucose co-transporter 2. अब यहाँ पे co-transporter 2 लिखा है, इसका मतलब co-transporter 1 भी अवेलेबल होता है, बट मोस्ट प्रोबेबली जो ग्लूकोज का रीएब्सॉर्प्शन होता है वो co-transporter 2 से होता है. So this is what the mechanism. So all these drugs, they will inhibit the SGLT2, and because of that the reabsorption of glucose from proximal convoluted tubule to the blood is inhibited, and as a result all glucose get lost in the urine, and ultimately the blood glucose level is going to be decreases. This is what a very fantastic mechanism of SGLT2 inhibitors. Now Under that, what are the advantages of these classes of the drugs? They causes weight loss because glucose is lost from the body. No hypoglycemia. Improve insulin resistance by depleting toxic level of glucose. ग्लूकोज का लेवल अगर ब्लड से कम हो जाता है तो इंसुलिन का सेंसिटिविटी जो है वो बढ़ जाता है. देन बेनिफिशियल इन डायबिटिक पेशेंट विथ हाइपरटेंशन एज दिस ड्रग्स हैव डायूरेटिक एक्टिविटी. यू नो, हाइपरटेंसिव पेशेंट में हम डायूरेटिक्स देते, क्यों? फ्लूइड लॉस होने के लिए. तो अगर ऐसे ड्रग, डायबिटिक पेशेंट है जिसको हाइपरटेंशन भी है, ऐसे पेशेंट को अगर ये ड्रग देते हैं तो क्या करेगा, वो ग्लूकोज लेवल भी कम करेगा, साथ ही साथ क्या करेगा, डायूरेटिक एक्टिविटी के कारण वो फ्लूइड लॉस भी करेगा और ब्लड प्रेशर मेंटेन रखने में हेल्प करेगा. बट देयर आर सर्टेन डिसएडवांटेजेस ऑफ दिस टाइप ऑफ ड्रग. व्हाट आर दैट डिसएडवांटेजेस? मोर पॉलीडिप्सिया एज इट प्रोड्यूसेस द पॉलीयूरिया. ओके, लॉस होता है, बहुत फ्लूइड लॉस होता है, उसके कारण क्या होगा कि बार बार आपको प्यास लगेगी. इंक्रीज रिस्क ऑफ यूरिनरी बैक्टीरियल फंगल इन्फेक्शन, क्योंकि क्या होगा, यूरिनरी सिस्टम से ग्लूकोज लॉस हो रहा है, तो जहां ग्लूकोज लॉस होता है वहां चांसेस होते हैं कि आपको बैक्टीरियल या फंगल इन्फेक्शन होने के चांसेस होते हैं, इसलिए प्रॉपरली वॉश आउट करना वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है. देन रिस्क ऑफ सोडियम लॉस, तो ज्यादा यूरिन लॉस होता है तो उसमें सोडियम भी लॉस होता है, हमने डायूरेटिक्स में लास्ट ईयर के सिलेबस में पढ़े हैं. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द SGLT2 inhibitors. So these are the drugs: canaglifloxacin, then dapagliflozin and empagliflozin. So very few things are reported of these drugs. Now what are the adverse effects of this class of drugs? More likely to get yeast or urinary tract infection, as we have discussed. Have blood pressure that is too low. तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि हम बहुत उसको वो ये SGLT2 इनिबिटर दे रहे हैं तो ज्यादा फ्लूइड लॉस हुआ तो ब्लड प्रेशर भी कम होने के चांसेस होता है. Loss bone density, be more likely to get fractures and get dehydrated because of the fluid loss. Then one another class is there, that is glucosidase inhibitor, alpha glucosidase inhibitor. Again this is very important and interesting part. ये जो ड्रग है अल्फा ग्लूकोसाइडेज इनिबिटर, वो कैसे एक्ट होते हैं हमने देखा कि यहाँ देखो, जब whenever the food is enter into the stomach, then it get digested and it will get enter into the intestine. Okay, you can observe here. And from this intestine, आपने अगर एनाटॉमी पढ़े होगे लास्ट ईयर की, तो एनाटॉम इंटेस्टाइन में एक माइक्रोविलाय होता है जिसको हम ब्रश बॉर्डर बोलते हैं, ये माइक्रोविलाय होता है. ठीक है, सो ये माइक्रोविलाय से ये ग्लूकोसाइडेज ये जो कार्बोहाइड्रेट कंटेनिंग फूड है उसका एब्जॉर्प्शन होता है. तो कैसे होता है, यू जस्ट ऑब्जर्व हियर. ऑलिगोसैकेराइड्स और पॉलीसैकेराइड्स और स्टार्च जब हम खाते हैं, दैट विल कन्वर्टेड इनटू सिंपल शुगर, ओके, और मोनोसैकेराइड्स. हियर यू ऑब्जर्व इट इज इन द इंटेस्टाइन. These oligosaccharides get converted into monosaccharides, and monosaccharides are nothing but the glucose. What happened? This glucose is the conversion of oligosaccharide to monosaccharide is carried out in presence of the enzyme that is alpha glucosidase. So this is a brush border, small intestine brush border. हमने ये बताया है कि ये brush border इस तरह का है. अब क्या होता है कि जो मोनोसैकेराइड में कन्वर्ट हुआ है वो क्या होता है, उसका एब्जॉर्प्शन होता है. इधर होता है स्मॉल ब्रश बॉर्डर के थ्रू एब्जॉर्प्शन होता है. एंड व्हेंस एब्जॉर्प्शन टेक्स प्लेस, देन देयर इज अ इंक्रीज ऑफ ग्लूकोज लेवल. इट इज कॉल्ड एज द पोस्ट प्रैंडियल हाइपरग्लाइसीमिया. क्यों बोलते हैं पोस्ट प्रैंडियल? का मतलब होता है खाना खाने के बाद. तो ये प्रोसेस जो होती है खाना खाने के बाद होती है. जब हम खाना खाते हैं वो कन्वर्ट होता है ग्लूकोज दिस ग्लूकोसाइडेज के प्रेजेंस में, और उसका एब्जॉर्प्शन होता है. और एब्जॉर्प्शन होने के बाद क्या होता है कि हाइपरग्लाइसेमिया होता है पोस्ट प्रैंडियल. सो ऐसे केस में what drug we are going to use? We are going to use alpha glucosidase inhibitor. What they will do? Okay, here you observe, this is what alpha glucosidase inhibitor. This drug inhibit the alpha glucosidase into intestine. तो क्या होगा, इनिबिट होने के कारण जो ओलिगोसैकेराइड्स है इसका जो कन्वर्शन है मोनोसैकेराइड में वो कम होगा. हम ये नहीं बोल रहे कि वो इनिबिट होगा, पर जितना नॉर्मली होता है उससे क्या होगा, कम होगा, क्योंकि ये एंजाइम, अभी एंजाइम पूरा अगर इनिबिट हुआ है तो पूरा बंद होगा, एंजाइम अगर पार्शियली इनिबिट हुआ है तो पार्शियली कन्वर्शन कम होगा. तो क्या होगा, these oligosaccharides will get converted into monosaccharides, it get decreases, the rate of conversion is decreases. उसके बाद क्या होगा, ये कम हो गया, एब्जॉर्प्शन क्या होगा, कम होगा क्योंकि मोनोसैकेराइड कम बना है, तो पोस्टप्रांडियल हाइपरग्लाइसेमिया जो होगा वो भी क्या होगा, रिड्यूस होगा, एंड देयर बाय दिस टाइप्स ऑफ ड्रग्स आर हेल्पफुल इन रिड्यूसिंग द ब्लड ग्लूकोज लेवल. First drug, that is the acarbose. Acarbose, it is a complex oligosaccharides which reversibly inhibit the alpha glucosidase. It is a reversible inhibition. Okay. It slows down and decreases digestion and absorption of polysaccharides and sucrose. We have decided. Postprandial glycemia is reduced without increasing the insulin level. So this is what the dose is given. 50 to 100 mg TDS 3 times a day is taken at the beginning of each major meal. Then another drug is there, that is miglitol. These drugs, unlike other drugs of the same class, miglitol is not metabolized and the unmetabolized drug is excreted by the kidney. Miglitol is similar to acarbose and is more potent in inhibiting the sucrose. So this is about the miglitol, and this is all about the oral hypoglycemic agents. One drug is there, that is thiazolidinediones. So in my first presentation, I have sent the presentation that oral hypoglycemic agent 1. तो आप में से सिर्फ मेरे ख्याल से 2 या 3 लोगों ने वो प्रेजेंटेशन अभी तक देखा है, तो उसमें मैंने वो क्लास मेंशन किया है, thiazolidinediones. They are the PPAR gamma inhibitors. Okay, so you go through that, you will find the mechanism and all these things of this type of the